Good morning, everybody. So this is day 11, a much needed off day. We're not going anywhere today, and it feels great. We are in Monson. We're staying at Shaw's Hostel, which is amazing. Love that place. Had a great breakfast, and there's bullfrogs down there. We're sitting down by the lake. This is like the community lake. And so we figured we would just take today and go over a few things of, kind of recap the 100 mile and talk about some things we liked, some things we didn't like, gear, things we saw, things we couldn't get on camera for the last videos. So that's pretty much all we're going to cover today. All right, so I think the first thing that we wanted to bring up was some of the gear problems and things that we liked. So a couple things. So you remember we had to take the night at the hostel about halfway through, and that actually ended up being a really good thing because we had some things break on us out there. First, Stranger's water bag had sprung a little leak,
like multiple leaks. It was a good sized holes.
We squeezed it for filter and all of a sudden water was coming out, and I was like, man, we haven't even had the bags that long, so that wasn't good because he couldn't store water for very long. And then as soon as we were about to get to town, mine did the same thing. So we had two water bags that had leaks. So we ended up picking up 2 new water bags. On day 1, climbing Katahdin, I had a pack towel that I used just kind of for my face. Lost that on Katahdin somewhere. And I love that thing, especially for climbing mountains. So I got it just in time to make those other climbs. So I was happy to get a new one of those. What else?
My carabiner, that one's kind of weird because it's not really the hike that broke it, but I mean it was just something that broke while we were hiking and I had to get a new one.
Yeah, he puts his Crocs on them, and the Crocs even fell off one time.
Yeah.
We had to go pick them up and started rolling down a little hill.
Oh, my pack cover.
The pack cover.
The rain cover did not work. It just soaked in all the water.
Yeah, he had an REI pack cover. And it was absolutely useless.
Yeah.
In that rain.
It didn't do anything.
Yeah, your pack was completely soaking wet.
Yeah.
So we picked up we just basically threw that one away, picked up another one of those. On the, when we hit that water that we couldn't cross and we started going back to the trail, to the logging road to get the ride back, I was kind of rushing through one of the creek crossings and I completely fell over, got my trekking pole stuck in rocks and snapped it right in half. So I had a pair of nice Z-Pax trekking poles. One of them broke right in half, and I started thinking, I was like, man, who sells one trekking pole? But sure enough, the AT hostel there, when we got there, they had one single trekking poles, something cheap. I don't even know, it was like $15 or something, but it was green, which is cool. So I picked up an extra trekking. Now I've got 2 again. They don't match, but not a big deal, they work. What else? There was something else.
It was my frog tog got holes in it.
Did get a little rip in those. That happens a lot though. We hear about that. So
and they're not big and they're not like in inconvenient spots, but I didn't even notice it until I took it off.
So that's probably something we can just duct tape up.
Yeah. My shoes
are falling apart already.
So that like the backs are like coming off. I don't have them, I can't show, but the backs are just pretty much coming off. And they're not, we haven't even used them that much. We've taken on a couple hikes before we started this one.
Yeah, well, we had probably 150 miles on them.
Did we?
Before, so now they probably got 250, but they ought to get way more than that.
Yeah, they're Hokas. Yeah. What else?
Is that about all that we had to replace?
I think so.
Yeah. So it actually, getting back to the there's a loon right over there. Let me see if I can see.
Where is the loon right
Did he go under? He's
No,
by the boat. That's a loon over there.
He just went underwater.
But so the ride back, the night at the hostel halfway through actually turned out to be pretty good. Oh, my food bag. I had to get a new food bag. Day 1, I tore the food bag on the bear cable.
It ripped bad too. It was like...
It was still hangable. Like you could fold it all the way down, but it just ripped. The bear cable had some sharp ends on there and just ripped it right off on the first day. So I had to get a new bag to put the food in. But hey, that stuff happens. You kind of plan on, we've got a gear budget, so obviously that kind of stuff is going to happen. So Well, yeah, it turned out to be good timing for the stay, and we were able to fix that stuff. And really, I think the second half we didn't have a whole lot of, we didn't have to really buy any gear this time here in town. So, yeah, I think that about covers all the stuff that we broke.
So far.
All right, so since we're talking about gear, we figured we'd mention a few things that we were maybe iffy about bringing, but we are 100% glad we did. And that is a bug net and those sun sleeves. The sun sleeves, I got them first, because I burn pretty easy, and I was like, well, anytime we're on the ridges or something, I'll probably put them on. Man, I kept them on most of the time to keep from getting eaten by mosquitoes.
Yeah, and even then, sometimes they would bite through the sleeve, but it would deter most of them.
Yeah, those mosquitoes are relentless.
Yeah.
They bit through shorts, shirts. One of them, like these little holes in my hat. I swear, one of them landed on there, stuck his little beak down through one of those holes, and bit my head. They're crazy. So we ended up, so the other thing is the DEET. Definitely make sure you have that.
Yeah.
Every time you stop, we just cover everything, and even the sun sleeves when they're on, we still put DEET on those to keep them off.
And for the most part, it actually works way better than we thought it was. Like when we spray that DEET, usually within like 30 seconds, all the mosquitoes go away.
They're gone. It's actually crazy. Yeah, you'll be getting swarmed.
Yeah, like tons.
And then you spray it on there, and then you can just kind of sit back, and there might be one or two that still heads that way, but it's actually crazy. They must detect it or smell it, and they don't want to have anything to do with it. So anything else? Any other gear that well, we can talk about a couple things we don't need. We sent them back, and it was our coats. We both sent back our coats. The coldest temperature we've had so far was like 47 or something that I saw, and I'm still sleeping in shorts, in like one long sleeve, and plenty warm, and I still have a couple other I still have another layer that I could put on. So I sent my thermal leggings, and I sent my coat, and then Stranger here sent his coat back. So we mailed those back today. That'll save a little bit of weight, not a ton, but just don't need them. So that's good. Anything else?
Nothing that really stands out. You can maybe talk about your battery pack life.
Yeah, so it looks like we get about 5 days. So the first pack, if it ran out the night of day 5, and that was not even using that much video. You saw the earlier videos. I had to put the first few days all in one, and we didn't take that much video. But since we got to get back in town and charge them all back up, I took a good bit more video the second half. So there might be multiple videos out of that. So that's good to know too. That that was 10,000 milliamp power or whatever. I carried 2 of those. So from here on out, we should be plenty. And honestly, if I don't ever tap into that second one for a month or so, I might just send that second one back too, because those are pretty heavy. So that's good to know, and definitely worth having, because I charge my watch up. I charge my watch every day, and then I charge the phone in the morning, just enough to get me through that day, because I didn't want to drain it early. So we usually keep the phone in airplane mode while we're hiking. Every once in a while we check for service so that we can try to check in with the family whenever we can. But yeah, I think that's about everything. It's all the other gear. Is your classic hiking gear. We've got everything. The same thing that everybody else has probably. So, but I think that about covers that. All right, so now we're gonna mention a few things that we couldn't get on camera. Either just wasn't fast enough, or honestly, some of them were just too far away. But that's the wildlife. We actually saw quite a bit of wildlife.
Yeah, a lot.
So the one of the biggest things that I saw, a stranger didn't get a chance, was a moose. I did see like the rear end of a moose through some trees, and I tried to get him up there, and by the time he got there, it had taken off through the bushes, so he didn't get to see it. But then the morning that we were getting dropped off on the logging road, we did see a moose in the middle of the road. So I don't know if that counts or not, but we definitely saw a big moose. Well, he said it was a small one.
He said it was a young one.
Looked big to us. But yeah, so we definitely saw one moose there, and then I saw one in the woods. What else we see?
I saw a bald eagle. That was cool.
Yeah, he spotted a bald eagle at an overlook that we were at, flying around the lake.
Yeah.
Some weasels.
Yeah, that was my favorite. I saw 2 little baby weasels playing.
Yeah, we saw like a bigger weasel first, and
Yeah.
then like a day later,
Yeah.
somewhere else, he spotted the little baby weasels playing. We saw a fox, which you guys saw. We got that one on video. Numerous snakes. I'd say 5 or 6 snakes.
Yeah.
A ton of frogs.
A lot of frogs.
A lot of frogs.
All different kinds of colors and stuff too. It's kind of cool. We saw
Anything else?
like rabbits and stuff.
We did see a rabbit.
We just now saw a loon. That was on our list.
We heard loons out there.
Yeah, you could hear them when the planes would fly over. It would like spook them or something.
Yeah, there was one spot where like a seaplane was, and every time that seaplane went over that lake, the loons were just really yelling out. So. Anything else?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I wish I could have got that moose on camera though. That would have been neat. But yeah, so there's definitely lots of wildlife. There's one thing in Maine I know is a porcupine, and I really want to see one. So I'm hoping I get that sometime in the next few weeks. I'd love to see a porcupine out here, just not too close. But yeah, lots of wildlife, lots of snakes, spiders, fun stuff. All right, so now we're going to talk about some of our favorite parts on the trail so far through the 100 mile. So why don't you start? What do you think was your favorite?
My favorite had to be towards the end, barren ledges. We'll show you a picture in a minute, but that view was just like really incredible because you were just looking right down on a lake and there was a mountain close by. I don't know. It was just like unique to me. So.
Yeah, for me, mine might be a little obvious, but it was getting to Katahdin. That's absolutely amazing. When you see that sign, it's so iconic. You've seen it so many times. And
it's so rewarding to climb it too. It takes you all day to climb it, and then you get up there.
You get up there, and it's just amazing. You get the pictures with the sign, and it's something like, I'll print that out, and I'll have that forever of us standing up there. I think it's pretty amazing. So that one's pretty obvious, but that's got to be the peak so far.
And I also wanted to talk about Whitecap. We only had a small window because as soon as I got up there, it started to cloud over. And so I don't think you didn't see much.
No, and you probably saw that on the video a couple of days ago. It's like, I got up there, I was almost there, and I turned around, and it was an amazing view. And I was like, I bet it's even better over there. So I tried to get up there. As soon as I got up there, clouds had just come through. And strangers up there going, man, you should have seen it. It was awesome. But thankfully, you took a video.
I got a video of it, yeah.
Yeah, so we got that in there. But yeah, it pays to be fast, I guess. But hey, I'm getting there.
It was just, that one was cool because you were hiking upstairs for like a mile and a half, something like that. And then you almost have like almost a 360, not quite, but you just have just a wide range of a view, and it kind of wraps around you. It's really cool. Yeah,
it was pretty nice. So what about your least favorite?
Least favorite? It's definitely like the terrain, because it's harder than what we're used to.
Yeah, we've hiked a ton on the Appalachian Trail in Tennessee and North Carolina. And the trail is in decent shape there, and it's a decent trail. But man, you get up here and it's so rocky, so many roots.
So, yeah, a lot of you're just constantly, like, your foot is always at an angle in some kind of way, and it just kind of hurts.
Or you're stepping up, stepping down. Even if it's flat, you're just stepping up, stepping down, stepping. It slows you down a lot. It really does. I mean, we've hiked a lot, and we usually hike way faster than what we did the last 10 days. So it definitely takes some getting used to. It takes some conditioning. I don't know that's going to get a lot better anytime soon. Probably not. So, we're working through it.
We're adapting to it. We're getting there.
And then we knew starting off was going to be slower because of that.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure we'll be able to make it up later. So I'm not worried about the pace that we're at right now or anything like that. I think we're okay.
Also the river crossings.
Yeah, those were a pain.
But also because there was a lot of rain and stuff, so it didn't like rain on us. But it was raining. It's been raining like in the areas, right? And like on the mountains.
When we got picked up, we were told that he was like, yeah, it's been a record like 18 days of rain.
Yeah.
And we were like, really? We've been out here 4 days already and only didn't see any. It took us 4 days before we saw any.
Yeah.
And we only were in the rain for 2 full days.
2 days, yeah.
So we must have just kind of been hiking around it, but all the rain in the area was still going down the rivers and flooding those. And
it flooded the trails everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
like you were constantly like stepping in mud. And
the rainy days, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole trail was like, sometimes we have to make sure we're looking for those markers, because I'm like, am I in a creek or am I on the trail?
sometimes we had to walk through a creek.
Yeah. And then just the river crossings, I mean, no way around it. You know, your feet are wet all day. Even if it was sunny, you've got to get through them. And maybe some people could take their shoes off, but I don't know. They're slick and the water's moving. And then we even had to avoid the last 2 because they were flooded. So they put up an alternate route that did like a road walk. So we went down to like a logging road and kind of just took a bridge instead of walking through it. That was that 20-mile day we did, almost 20 miles. So it was a big day, but it got us into town a little quicker.
We also had to avoid the East River, which like that was in the video, but like
Yeah,
we had to go around it because it was so bad. Like it was deep and it was fast.
Oh, that's the one we almost saw somebody drown.
Yeah.
Like legit. We saw a guy try to cross it and he was holding on for dear life to the string.
And the string you're not even like really supposed to use because it's
Yeah.
put up by some random person.
And it's not tight. I mean, that guy was flopping around and we're standing there like, man, what do we do if he lets go? He's gonna get swept downstream
Yeah.
and there's absolutely nothing we can do. I'm like, I don't want to watch this right now.
Yeah.
But he made it back and he didn't cross, and that's when we were like, no, we're definitely
Yeah.
going back. We're not doing this. That's silly. So yeah, those the terrain and the water crossings are definitely the least favorite part. The rain, you know, it's gonna happen. There's gonna be wet days, and then there's gonna be great days. So unfortunately today is amazing. You know, an off day in the rain would be nice, and I do hear that it's supposed to rain for like the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Off and on. I don't think it's supposed to do as much as it was,
But
but it is supposed to rain.
Yeah.
And we do have river crossings coming up too, so there may be more alternate routes because those rivers up south of us are supposedly still flooded too. So we'll just have to evaluate that when we get to it. We're not going to hang out here and wait for 2 weeks of good weather. That makes no sense. So we're just going to keep moving, and if we have to do alternate routes around, then that's fine. It's all part of it. I mean, it's all part of the trip. That stuff's going to happen. So, but yeah, overall, honestly, I would say we have had great weather.
yeah, overall I think it's
Yeah.
been fine.
I mean, 2 out of 10 was rainy, but the rest,
Yeah.
it was great.
It's gotten hot, but I don't know. I feel
The
like
last
it's just
couple
like when you're
days.
climbing stairs.
Yeah.
Also,
It's gonna be hot anyways. It could be 50 degrees out, and I'm gonna think it's too hot to climb stairs. but-
I think the weather's been great, and besides the 2 days of rain, it's been fine.
Yeah.
And,
I agree.
yeah.
It's been a good trip so far.
Also, some other 2 animals that we forgot to mention.
Oh yeah.
Is we saw a goshawk, which I didn't realize how big they were. They were a lot bigger, so that was cool.
And
They were right above our head.
And they can be protective. Didn't we read that?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what was happening. We came
Yeah.
in that area and he started yelling and flew right at a tree over top of us, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah.
So we looked it up and we were like, yeah, sure enough, we probably need to get going.
And then we also saw just a grouse.
Oh yeah, grouse.
Run across the trail.
Stirred one of them up. Yep.
Yeah, just something unique that we're not used to seeing. So.
Yep. So yeah, it's been good so far. All right, so one more thing we would talk about is what we do on an off day, which is just this right here. We just sit around.
Just sit around, get some rest.
It's actually, yeah, it's pretty nice. But no, I mean, there's town chores. There's things we have to do. Laundry, shower, those things are important. We actually did those as soon as we got here.
The most refreshing. It's just like all it's all like I'm thinking about is just getting clean clothes and taking a shower.
Dry feet, dry
Yeah,
socks.
yeah.
Dry socks, dry shoes. Our shoes are drying out, so we walk around in Crocs, but just getting everything clean and dry is like priority number 1 for us. But other things you might do is if you need to go to the post office, like we mailed a couple things back we mentioned. So we went and did that this morning. So post office drops in these little towns, that's always important. What else did we do? Charging everything up. you should see the outlets in our room. Everything is full, and we're constantly swapping out, making sure everything's charged and ready to go again. Let's see what else. Drying out.
Pretty much.
Drying stuff out if we need to. Hanging stuff up.
If it's been raining.
Yeah, we've actually been pretty good the last few days, so we haven't really needed to do that. But
our shoes are always so hard to dry out on the trail. Like, it's always like, you get to town, you're able to take out the soles, hang up your shoes, and then just wear Crocs the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, when you're on the trail, it your shoes never dry.
Never dry out. But Shaw's has this thing, he called it the solar shoe dryer or something. No, seriously, this thing is incredible. I'll take a picture of it and put it in here. But it's just a stand, and it's got like a little clear top, and the sun comes through it. We put our shoes on there, and a few hours later, they were all completely dry. It's crazy.
And we were walking through rivers right before we got here.
We were.
And just like, they were wet, and they were just completely dry.
Yeah, so that was actually pretty sweet. Yeah. So they're still sitting over there. They'll be bone dry by the time we get going tomorrow, and then they'll get wet again. But yeah, so anything else on an off day? Eat, a lot of eating.
Some good food. We went to the pub.
Yeah, we had a pub burger yesterday. We had an amazing breakfast at Shaw's this morning. Eggs and home fries and pancakes. They made a little pancake cairn, which is pretty cool. But yeah, and then a lot of just, again, sitting around, resting, making these videos, uploading videos.
Downloading videos for the trail.
Yeah, downloading the next section. If you want to watch something in the tent or in the hammock at night, get that all ready. Anything else? That's about it, I think.
Yeah.
All right, last thing we're going to cover before we go is advice to anybody who might be starting a southbound through hike. A couple things. Everybody says this, but I think it is important to start slow. Like, just don't expect to get through that 100-mile in 4 or 5 days. It's just
there's no reason to rush it either.
No.
You're just gonna hurt yourself.
Yeah, just take your time through here, and you can make it up. And we've heard that advice. I heard it before we got out here. The AT hostel, what's his name, Cody there, Trash Panda there, said the same thing. It might take you a whole month to do the state of Maine. And then you'll make it up. He said the average southbounder finishes in 5 months, the average northbounder in 6, because even when the northbounder gets to Maine, they tend to slow down. So just understand that. Take your time. No reason to rush through it. So paying attention to what hurts on you. We're not gonna really talk a lot about. We're hiking every day. We're climbing mountains every day. Something's gonna hurt every day.
Yeah, you're gonna be sore.
Yeah.
Something's gonna be hurting.
Just understand what it is, and if you take a break, if you need to take a break.
Yeah.
If something hurts and you've only done 8 miles on the day and you're somewhere where you can stay, then just stay there. I tend to feel really good in the mornings, and then it kind of catches up to you in the afternoons a little bit, but that's one of those things too that will get better as we go, I think. So just pay attention to what hurts and address it if you need to, but don't expect to just plow through 20 miles or whatever and deal with whatever hurts later, because that's probably not a good plan. Oh, and so like taping, both of us, none of us got any blisters. Which is, I've never had blisters before. I never had an issue with that, so I wasn't sure how I was going to do it with 10 straight days of hiking though. There was a couple spots where it's like, I don't know, maybe this is starting not to feel right. Stranger's like, well, you better tape that up then. I'm like, really? So I was like, I went ahead and listened to it, taped the bottom of my feet, and I'm really glad I did, because it definitely helped. Definitely feeling better.
Like even if you don't have a blister yet, it's always good if you feel like something is starting, just tape it up, because it makes it feel better, and it won't make it worse, at least. Yeah, and then just know your gear. Just know what you're taking and why you're taking it. Don't put useless random stuff like
No.
I tend to do sometimes, like a giant knife, some multi-tool that I don't use. But
weight is important. Weight on your back is hard on your knees. It's hard on your legs. So just take what you need, and don't be afraid to send something home if you need to. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. And if you really want to prepare, get on the Stairmaster for like 10 hours a day. That probably won't be enough. Stairmaster all the time. And before you get on the Stairmaster, take your socks and shoes and put them in a bucket of water, and then put them on, Get on the Stairmaster for like an hour, put them back in the bucket, put them back on, That's how you prepare, really, because that's exactly what it's like every day. Yeah, but it's good though. It's all part of the fun, right?
Yeah, it's been a fun experience. It really has.
Oh yeah, and we got a lot more to go.
Yeah, a lot more.
Oh yeah, but we want to thank everybody for watching. Since we got into town, we got to check on the YouTube, so saw we got like 100 something subscribers, which is crazy. We started making these just to kind of keep friends and family up to date, so it's cool. We welcome everybody else to watch and follow along. It's fun. So 600 some views on day 0, so that's cool. But yeah, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Appreciate all the support, especially from friends and family. I've been able to send texts out to a lot of friends and obviously keep up to date with the family. So it's been good so far. Looking forward to more. We're getting out there first thing tomorrow. And since the time in between are shorter, we should be able to bring like back to daily videos.
Yeah,
we'll be able to upload a little more often, try and get something out every day. There probably will still be gaps. I can't upload out there. The service isn't good enough. It takes like hours at a time. If we get like really good service, maybe you can upload one overnight or something, but I don't know. I'll try to get some scheduled and get some videos out every day, but you'll see them.
It'll happen eventually.
It'll happen. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. We're just gonna kind of chill the rest of the day and take it easy and get ready for tomorrow. You ready to go back out there?
Yeah. Not right now. Tomorrow, though.
Tomorrow. All right, guys. Thanks a lot.